Shavua Tov Mevarach, Rabbi Kovacs here, and Mishnah Yomi continues in chapter 3 of Kiddushin, Mishnah Vav, the sixth Mishnah. Ha'omer le'isha, a man says to a single woman, Hare'at mekudeshet li, come and be mekudeshet, be married to me, almanat, on condition, she'adaber aloich l'shulton, I will speak about you to the governing authorities. For instance, he'll put in a good word, so she will receive a business contract or a high position or some sort of benefit from the authorities. I say machkapoel, or I'll do work for you like a laborer. I'll help out around the house. I'll fix this plumbing, whatever it is. So then diber alei l'shilton, if he goes ahead and puts in the good word for the government to her benefit, or he does the work for her like a laborer, mekudeshet, she is indeed married. If he doesn't do the job, eina mekudeshet, she is not married. Now, interestingly, the Gemara says, it has to be that he's actually giving her a pruta at the time also, because if he just says the Kiddushin will be through this labor, through this job or this favor I'm doing for you, well, then he's like a hired laborer, and the sechirut, his fee, his wages, start accruing at the beginning, and then she would have to pay him at the end. And that's like a loan, and we've discussed there's no Kiddushin through a loan. So really, he has to also be giving her a ring or a pruta or something at the time of the statement before he goes ahead and does the work or does the favor. Almanat sheyirtze abba, on condition your father does not object. The Gemara says, really, they give him 30 days to object to the shidduch ratzah of mekudeshet. So if the father doesn't object, he thinks it's a good match, then they are married. Im lav eina mekudeshet. If the father does object, then they are not married. They made it conditional on his approval. Met ha'av, if God forbid the father passes away during this period, harei zu mekudeshet. Well, he didn't object, so it's a valid marriage. Met haben, but now if the son had passed away instead of the father, melomdin et ha'av, the rabbis, the sages, instruct the father, lomar, that he should say, she'ena rotze, that he never wanted the shidduch to go forward. Now, this is for the benefit of the would-be kala, because now basically he's objected. It's as if that Kiddushin was never valid, never effective, she was never married, and obviously they never went to chuppah yet, so there's no children, so he wouldn't have any issues of yibam or chalitza. It's as if they were never married in the first place. On to Mishnah Zayin, Kidoshti et biti, a father says, I have married off my daughter. Now we actually discussed about this at the very beginning of chapter 2, that the Torah gives a father the power to mekadesh, to accept Kiddushin, to marry off his daughter to a young man, as long as she's not, a bogeret, as long as she's 12 and a half or under. However, our sages said, don't do that unless it's a real emergency, like there's non-Jewish people abducting unmarried little girls, or there's crusades and they're killing people and you can't make a wedding unless you make it now. Okay, she's 12 in a few months and he's 13 and a half, but okay, we have the food and everyone's alive, so go ahead and make the wedding. That's what Tosfos talks about in the Gemara, the beginning of chapter 2 in the Gemara in Kiddushin. So it's not a great idea. Don't try this at home. But a man says, yes, I accepted Kiddushin on behalf of my minor daughter. But, we were all drinking in the bar, and a bunch of guys were talking to me about my daughter, and I don't remember exactly who was the guy who gave me the pruta or the ring or what. I'm not really sure. And one guy shows up, one single bachelor guy, and he says, I'm the guy who gave you the Kiddushin. Naaman, we believe that guy. The Gemara says the guy's not going to be so chutzpahdik to show up in front of the father of this girl and say, hey, I'm the guy who married your daughter. Remember? Because if the father says, I don't know you, then it'll be tremendously embarrassing. Everyone will know he's a prankster. Chances are the father will say, oh, yeah, it was you. You're the guy. So people won't be so chutzpahdik, I think is the technical term. But the Mishnah adds, what about this case? Zeyamarni Kiddushin, Zeyamarni Kiddushin. Two guys show up, and they both claimed to have done the Kiddushin, given Kiddushin money to the father on behalf of the daughter. Shneihem notin get. We make both of them give a get. We're like, we don't really, truly trust them. Imratzu, but if they all agree, the two would-be suitors and the father and the daughter, and they kind of work things out, maybe they figure out a way to pick who's better. They ask the girl, which the Gemara says, yes, it's a good idea. Actually ask the girl who she wants to marry. I know it was a very modern idea 2,000 years ago, but it's in the Gemara. So then, imratzu, if they work things out, echad notin get, ve'echad konis. So then one of these two would be who's claimed he's done a Kiddushin, well, maybe he's done a Kiddushin, so he should give a get. But if they want, they could marry the other one. He wouldn't have to give a get. They can go ahead and live happily ever after. Shar Kochachem, have a great week.